So when I talked about resetting at 65 on my channel, that really wasn't the beginning of it because frankly, I've always had to do this kind of stuff. It's just what follows is where it got interesting. I've always built things. If I didn't have it and I could build it, I did. And this is just one of the ways I kept adapting through life. Back years ago, I started building motorized bikes out of pure necessity. I worked about 30 miles away from home. And at the time, my wife stayed home with the kids, and we only had one car. She didn't want to be stuck at home all day with the kids, and no transportation, because we lived about 6 miles out of town, and I completely understood this. So I started looking for alternatives. That's when I found these little motor kits online that could basically turn a regular bicycle into a moped. And I'm sure you've seen them either on the web, advertisements, or seen the little noisemakers buzzing around your town. And most people would have probably looked at that and thought, yeah, that sounds sketchy as hell. And naturally, I thought, well, hell, why not? So I researched all the laws, made sure I wasn't going to get into trouble, make sure it was legal. I gathered up what I needed. It cost me, I think, less than $100, and I built my first one. And I got to tell you, the damn thing actually worked. I rode it about 2,400 miles before I eventually traded it to a guy as a partial payment on a used minivan, which got us a second vehicle. But that was just the beginning of it. The next one, I don't have any pictures of my first one, but the next one was my black two-wheeler, which you see in the pictures. Same basic purpose, cheap transportation because gas prices were climbing and I had a family to support. I had a 95 Suburban that did not sip gas, it sucked gas. The only problem was that this little bike was dangerous, and I'll tell you why. The motor design had the drive chain mounted on the left side instead of the right. And one day I'm heading home from work doing about 20 miles an hour, and the chain grabbed my pant leg, sucked it up into the motor, locks the whole bike up instantly. I skidded about 30 foot, wore a bald spot on a Kevlar tire, and I went ass over tea kettle straight into the ditch. Now, at my age, that kind of thing hurts. It took me about 3 days to get unsore. Apparently somebody saw the whole thing happen because the guy stopped and helped me up. Now, most sane people would probably say, well, maybe motorized bikes aren't for me. That was not my thought process. I decided the problem wasn't the engine or the design. The problem was I needed one more wheel and I needed the engine behind me. So I built Bentley, which is the recumbent bike that you see in the next pictures. Everything was completely thought out, mostly, completely hand-built. And honestly, Bentley is one of the coolest things I've ever built. It was part necessity, part engineering experience, and part hold my damn beer. I found the plans online for a recumbent trike frame. It was called Jet Trike 2026, and I modified the design by about 19 centimeters so I could fit an engine onto it behind me. Because let me tell you something, 25 miles is a long damn way to pedal when you're on your way to work. By the time you get there, you're exhausted, and I don't want to work. The whole thing was built from 1-inch steel square tubing. Some of it was carefully planned, and some of it was basically me standing in the garage staring at a bunch of parts thinking, well, we're about to find out if this is actually going to work. My boss thought I was completely unhinged and totally insane, and when I finished the whole thing, which is the picture you see in the garage drive there, meanwhile I'm riding this thing to work thinking, I don't care what you think, I'm getting there anyway, and every time I rode it, I got there just fine and had a great time doing it. And honestly, most people who saw me riding it and who saw this thing thought it was simply badass. This thing actually solved several problems at once. First, it was stable, safer than the two-wheel setup that launched me into the ditch. Second, I have carpal tunnel, so riding traditional bikes for long distances would make my hands go numb. So I designed the steering and the controls at angles that worked better for me physically. My hands didn't go numb as often. And third, it was freedom. There was no traffic lines, no sitting still, no burning piles of gas money. In the town that I live in, there's only one way and one way in and out. So when traffic's bad, you're stuck. It was just riding right up the side of traffic. If you've ever spent any time on a bike, you know exactly what I mean. You notice more. You can stop whenever you want at a moment's notice. You don't obstruct traffic. You can actually experience where you're going instead of just sitting in a metal box staring at brake lights. Now, Bentley had another purpose. I designed it to pull a kid trailer because my youngest daughter, who was about 4 at the time, she would always go with me wherever I went when I wasn't working and I didn't want to take the car. So if you look closely at the bike on the left-hand side, there's an 8-inch parabolic mirror mounted on it, so I could see all around behind me. Now, the funny thing about this whole process is that when my daughter was with me, I spent more time watching her in that mirror than paying attention to the actual ride. So I wasn't really enjoying the ride as much as I did when I was by myself. I spent more time making sure that she was okay back there. Bentley wasn't just transportation anymore because it became a part of mine and her's life. But like any machine built in a garage by a stubborn guy, it had its moments. And throughout the process of building it, there's a few things that I forgot. And one time the chain tensioner mount kept vibrating loose because I forgot to use a nylock on it. Now I used the same size bolts all through it. Every few miles the chain would come off 9 times. 9. At this point I'm thinking I'm never going to get home. Finally I got desperate, removed the nylock nut off the headlight mount, stuck it on the tensioner, and the problem was solved. I was able to make it home just fine. Somewhere on YouTube video, there is a video of me doing 31 miles an hour on this thing with a broken oil ring. It was seriously one of my best builds, and frankly, it was the most fun. And that's pretty much the story of my life right there. If I had to do something or I needed to do something, I figured it out with whatever I've got on hand or available. Eventually, I sold Bentley to a couple where the wife had back problems and couldn't ride a traditional bike anymore. They still wanted to ride together, and Bentley gave them a way to do that. So somewhere out there, rolling around in the world, there is a one-of-a-kind, homemade motorized recumbent bike built by a stubborn old guy who refused to let life tell him what he can and cannot do. And I'm happy about it. Honestly, I'd probably build another one if I had all the parts laying around tomorrow.